So I did a previous video entitled Make Space. And it was basically talking about, how we need to create space, let go of certain things, whatever it may be, certain people, in order for new things to come into your life. So I felt the need to do a part 2. So this is part 2. So it's kind of been heavy on me with this whole making space thing, man, because so many times in my life and in different seasons in my life and what I've observed from other people also, there's a lot of things that we desire, a lot of things that we want. A lot of those things ain't nothing wrong with. A lot of those things is God will for you to have, But if you are still holding on to something, someone, wrong mindset, you fill in the blank, whatever it is, you're not making room for God to do what he needs to do in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not making room for the blessing that you really want. I look at it like this, I got an iPhone. So anytime I got, like my storage is full, I got to delete some pictures. I got to delete some videos. And some of the videos, I don't even really want to delete because, or pictures, because I'm like, oh man, like that was a good memory or whatnot. But if me and my son somewhere, and I want to capture that new moment, I got to let go of some of the old stuff. I got to delete some of them old pictures, some of them old videos in order to create space for this new moment that I want to capture on my phone. And I mean, like, it's the same dynamic, it's the same principle in our lives, creating space, making space for the things that you've been wanting, you've been praying for. And also, like, I want to add to not just making space for what you want, for what you've been praying for, but you also got to prepare for it too. I mean, you want a husband, you want a wife, you want a new car, you want a family, you want this certain job. Like, what are you doing in order to prepare yourself for those things? Because one thing that God is not a fan of is sending you or giving you something when you're not prepared for it. I use this analogy all the time, man. If my son is 5 years old, if I went and bought him a car right now, it would not do him any good. He is not mature enough for it. He wouldn't even know what to do. You know what I'm saying? In fact, it could kill him. Putting a 5-year-old behind the wheel, it could kill him. You know what I'm saying? But that same thing could be a blessing once he's mature enough. 10, 15 years from now, he'll be mature enough. He'll be able to handle it. He'll know how to drive. He will know how to treat that blessing. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever you have a blessing that is out of season and that you're not prepared for, it's really not a blessing. It's really equivalent to a curse because you're not prepared for it. You haven't created the space for it. So what is it there for? It's really not a blessing at all, And a lot of times, man, like we feel like, oh man, God, like I wish you hurry up and do this. I wish you hurry up and do X, Y, and Z. And then God is saying, well, I wish you hurry up and let this go. Let that go. Let these wrong mindsets go. Let that wrong relationship go. These things have to go in order for new things to grow. My son, it was my first time, had a proud dad moment. It might not be a big deal for y'all, but so like he had a loose tooth, and I pulled the first loose tooth, and I was like, wow. And like God, and I get a revelation out of anything, man. My son, he was crying. He did not want me to pull that tooth. He wanted to stay in because he didn't want to endure that pain. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. It was hurting because that tooth was attached to him. But it was time for that tooth to come out. And as a good father, I knew that this tooth had to come out in order for a bigger and better tooth to come through. You know what I'm saying? And so even though it hurt him a little bit to pull that tooth, me as being a good father, I knew what was best for him, and I had to pull it. He didn't like it, but After it was over with, he was fine. And now he's going to have a bigger and better tooth, adult tooth coming through. Because that old tooth, that time was expired. That tooth, its time was up. It had to go. And that's the same way how God is with us. How many things in our life have expired and it's time to go? And whenever you let something go, whether it be a person, whether it be a thing, it's attached to you. It's going to hurt. But just because it hurt doesn't mean that you need to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? So prepare yourself, create space, make space for the things that you want God to do in your life, so that you won't keep on recycling seasons over and over again. It may hurt to let it go, but it's going to hurt worse to keep it, because you're going to stay stuck in whatever season you're in. Create space for what you want and what you want God to do in your life. It's Kingdom Talk.